Captured by the enemy. The air smelled like smoke and dust. The battle was over. Bodies, broken weapons, and burnt machines lay across the ground like sad statues. The sky above was still red from the fire bombs. The war between humans and the alien race called Valari had left this place in ruins. Captain Leo Walker moved slowly through the destroyed valley. His rifle was low. His eyes were sharp. He had seen enough death. He wasn't looking for more. He was searching for survivors. Then he saw her. She was half hidden under a piece of metal from a crashed alien ship. Her skin was light purple, glowing faintly. Her eyes were closed, her breathing weak. Her arm was bleeding, and one leg was trapped under debris. A Valari girl. Just a teenager. Leo froze. Every soldier was told, Valari are dangerous. They kill without warning. Show no mercy. But this one looked small. Afraid. Wounded. Harmless. Leo looked around. No one else was near. No cameras. No commanders to watch him. Just him and the girl. Enemy or not, she was still alive. He walked closer. Slowly, carefully. She opened her eyes, bright silver eyes, and the moment she saw him, she panicked. She tried to crawl away, but her leg was stuck. Her breathing became fast. She grabbed a small broken blade, holding it with shaking hands. "Stay away!" she screamed, her voice weak and sharp. Leo stopped. He raised both hands in peace. His voice was calm. "I'm not here to hurt you." She didn't believe him. Her people had told her stories, horrible stories. Humans were monsters. They burned cities. They crushed anyone weak. She had grown up hearing, "If a human catches you, beg for death." But he didn't move. He didn't shoot. He didn't yell. He only asked, "Are you hurt?" She looked confused. Hurt? Why would he care? Her voice cracked. "Please, don't hurt me." Leo slowly knelt beside her. "I won't," he said. "Let me help you." She flinched as he touched the metal on her leg. "Don't," she cried. "I'm just moving this," he said gently. Using both hands, Leo carefully lifted the heavy debris. She gasped in pain, then sighed in relief. Her leg was free, bruised, but not broken. Leo took off his backpack. From it, he pulled a small first aid kit. She watched, not sure if it was a trick. "See," he said, holding the bandage. "It's just medicine." "No poison," she whispered. "No poison." He cleaned her arm, wrapped it in soft white gauze. She stared at his hands. They were rough, strong, but gentle. "Why?" she asked. "Why are you helping me?" Leo didn't answer at first. He just smiled, a tired, kind smile. "Because you're hurt, and because war already took too much." She didn't understand. Was this a game? A trap? Back on her planet, they showed her human training videos. Humans laughing as they destroyed Valari villages. She had cried watching those videos. Now, one of those monsters was saving her. Leo gave her a water bottle. "Drink." She hesitated, then took a small sip. It was cold, clean. "I don't trust you," she said quietly. "That's okay," Leo replied. "Trust takes time." There was silence. The wind moved across the broken land. A piece of cloth flew like a flag with no meaning. Far away, another explosion echoed. But here, in this small moment, it was quiet. Leo checked her wound again. She didn't pull back this time. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated. "Sarah." "Nice to meet you, Sarah." "I'm Leo." He sat down beside her, keeping distance. She looked at him, unsure. She had never met a human before. "Not like this." Are all humans like you?" she asked. Leo laughed softly. "No. Some better. Some worse." Sarah looked at the sky. "I was taught that humans kill. No mercy. No kindness." Leo looked at her too. "We were told the same about Valari." "So, who's lying?" Leo shrugged. "Maybe both." Sarah's eyes began to close. Exhaustion was winning. Pain, fear, confusion, it was too much. "Sleep," Leo said. "You're safe now." "Am I?" she whispered. Leo didn't answer. He just sat near her, guarding her in silence. She drifted into sleep with one last thought in her heart. He didn't hurt me. He helped me. Why? Sarah woke to the sound of something soft. Not a scream. Not an explosion. It was humming. A low, calm human voice, almost like a lullaby. She opened her eyes slowly. For a second, she forgot where she was. The pain in her leg reminded her quickly. Then she saw him again. Captain Leo Walker. He sat near a small fire, warming his hands. The flames danced gently in the wind. Behind him, the ruins of war slept. But here, in this small circle of light, it felt like another world. She froze. Her heart raced. Was it a dream? He noticed her waking. His eyes met hers, calm, not sharp. He didn't smile, but he didn't look angry either. Good, he said softly. You're awake. Sarah tried to sit up, but winced from the pain in her leg. He was at her side in seconds. Easy. Don't move too fast. She pulled away from his hand. Don't touch me. Leo nodded. Okay. He stepped back. Sarah looked around. No chains. No weapons pointed at her. Just food. A small bowl sat beside her. Something warm and smelling sweet. She sniffed it suspiciously. What is this? Soup, Leo said. Well, something close to it. Made from supply rations. Not poison, if that's what you're thinking. I wasn't going to eat it, she said quickly, even though her stomach growled loud enough to betray her. Leo chuckled. You can pretend later. Just eat before it gets cold. She hesitated for a long moment. Then she picked up the bowl. The taste was strange, salty, soft, warm, but not terrible. She didn't stop until it was empty. After she finished, she looked at him again. Why are you doing this? I told you, he said, throwing a small stick into the fire. You're hurt. But I'm Valari. I'm your enemy. You're also a kid, Leo said, without looking at her. And I'm tired of being told who I'm supposed to hate. Silence fell again. The fire crackled. Sarah studied him. His face was dirty. His uniform torn. He looked like someone who had fought 100 battles. But there was no blood on his hands today. She remembered her training. Humans are cold. Cruel. They feel no guilt. So why did this one seem sad? You sing, she said suddenly. Leo raised an eyebrow. I hum. Why? It helps me think, he said. Or not think. Depends. Sarah tilted her head. That song, it was soft. Yeah, Leo said. It was my little sister's favorite. You have a sister? Had, he said, eyes turning to the fire. War doesn't leave many behind. Sarah said nothing. She understood that feeling. She had lost people too. Family, friends, maybe even parts of herself. Leo stood and looked at the sky. We were told your people would never surrender, he said. That you'd rather die than be taken prisoner. Sarah nodded slowly. That's true, usually. He turned back toward her. So why didn't you fight me harder? She looked down. Her voice was barely a whisper. Because you didn't feel like a monster. That made Leo pause. No one's ever said that to me, he admitted. I mean, you still might be one, she added quickly. Just a quiet one. Leo laughed. A full laugh, warm and tired. Fair enough. Then she asked something unexpected. Do humans cry? He blinked. Yes. Why? They told us you didn't. They lied, Leo said simply. Sarah leaned back, wrapping the blanket tighter around herself. She wasn't sure what was happening inside her. Something was shifting, something she couldn't name. She had spent her life preparing to hate humans. But now she was sitting by a fire, being cared for by one. And he hadn't asked her a single thing about the war. No questions. No threats. Just quiet help. That scared her more than any weapon. Are you taking me to a prison? She asked after a while. Leo shook his head. No, there's no prison nearby. Besides, you're not my prisoner. Then what am I? Leo thought for a moment. Then he said, you're someone who needs rest. We'll figure out the rest later. She stared at the fire. This wasn't what she was taught. This wasn't the war she trained for. She was still afraid, but a new kind of fear. Not of pain, not of death, but of truth. What if the humans were not what she believed? She glanced at Leo again. He was humming. The cube wouldn't stop blinking. John placed it on the table. It hummed softly, as if alive. Mira stared at it, not blinking. "This isn't from them," she whispered. "Then who sent it?" John asked. She didn't answer. Suddenly, the cube shut itself off. Silent. Dead. And at that exact moment, the doorbell rang. Ding-dong. Both froze. Mira rushed to the window. "It's them," she whispered. "The neighbors." A man and a woman stood at the front door, smiling, holding a gift basket. "They want to welcome us officially," Mira said. "It's part of their test. We have to act normal." John took a deep breath and nodded. "Let the game begin." They opened the door. The neighbors stepped in. Too perfect, too polite. "Welcome to the community," the woman said with a smile so wide it looked painful. "We were wondering when the new couple would come meet us all," the man added. Mira smiled and took the basket. "So kind of you. Please, come in." John nodded, forcing a grin. "It's been such a smooth move. The people here are wonderful." The man's eyes didn't blink once. "We like happy couples. Are you happy, John?" John froze for half a second, then smiled again. "Yes, Mira is everything." Myra's hand squeezed his behind her back. Hard. They all sat down. The neighbors didn't sit like normal people. They didn't relax. Their backs stayed straight, hands placed perfectly on their knees. "We're having a gathering tonight," the woman said. "For couples. A bonding event." John looked at Mira. She gave a tiny nod. "Of course. We'd love to come." The man tilted his head. "We'll see you at 7. Don't be late." Then they stood, walked out. Not a goodbye, not a wave, just out the door. John closed it behind them and sighed loudly. "That was creepy." Mira turned to him. "It's about to get worse." That evening they got dressed. John wore a button-up shirt Mira gave him. She wore a white dress, the kind you'd wear to dinner or a funeral. The bonding event was in a community center. White walls, no windows, one long table with 10 other couples seated. Every couple looked off, like puppets wearing skin. Everyone smiled. No one spoke unless spoken to. Then someone stood. An old man, bald, wearing a black suit. "Let us begin," he said. The lights dimmed. A woman walked in, carrying a silver tray. On it 2 glasses. "This is the emotion test," the old man said. "Each couple will drink and answer questions. Together." Whispers filled the room. Mira leaned close to John and whispered, "They're testing bond strength. If we don't answer right, we fail," John finished. "Got it." Their turn came. John took 1 glass. Mira took the other. The old man smiled. "Drink." They did. Sweet, then bitter, then warm, like electricity running through the chest. "Question 1, the man said. "What is Myra's favorite memory with you, John?" John looked at her. She mouthed, "The beach." John smiled. "We went to the beach once. She picked up shells and made me wear one as a necklace." The man nodded. "And your favorite part of that day, Mira?" Mira replied, "When he laughed. The real kind. It was rare." The room was silent. Then came light applause. "You may sit," the man said. John and Mira returned to their seats, hands slightly shaking. Behind them, another couple stood up. They drank. They were asked questions too. But the woman hesitated. She looked at her partner. "I don't know. I forgot." Silence. The lights flickered. Then, without warning, 2 black-suited figures appeared and placed hands on their shoulders. The couple didn't resist, didn't scream, just disappeared behind a sliding wall. Gone. Just like that. Back at home, Mira sat on the floor, hugging her knees. "They weren't real," she whispered. "That couple. They were plants. Used to scare us." John sat beside her. "They erased them like data on a screen." She nodded. "That's how they work. Fear keeps us in character. We can't stop pretending." John stared at the ceiling. So this entire neighborhood is a stage? No, Mira said. It's a lab. Later that night, Mira showed John a small mark behind her ear. A small silver dot, almost invisible. They track us with this, she said. But if we remove it, they'll know. John touched the back of his own neck. Felt something there. A small bump. I have one too. She nodded. They gave it to you when you agreed. That first handshake. Remember? John swallowed hard. He did remember. A strange warmth in his hand when she shook it. It wasn't just a deal, he said. It was an upload. At 2:59 a.m., the cube blinked again. Mira opened it. This time, a new message appeared. You are starting to feel. They are starting to fail. John stared at it. What does that mean? She whispered. It means our lie is working. It began with a question no one expected. Do humans dream of peace? Sarah asked it quietly, not to attack, not to test, but because she truly didn't know. The sun had just begun to rise. Soft golden light touched the edges of broken buildings and leafless trees. The war was still far from over, but here, it felt still. Leo was sharpening a knife near the fire. Not for war, just to cut some roots for breakfast. When she asked the question, he looked up, surprised. He didn't answer right away. Yes, he said finally. We dream of peace. Some of us, at least. Sarah was silent for a while. Her leg was still healing, but she could sit up now. She pulled the blanket closer and stared at the fire. I was told you only dream of power, she said. Leo smirked, bitter. I was told your kind don't know how to feel. Just follow orders. Do you believe that? I used to. Sarah looked at him. Do I seem like that kind of Valari to you? He met her eyes. No, you don't. A pause. Do I seem like a monster? He asked softly. Sarah blinked. That question should have been easy, but it wasn't. No, she said. You don't. They both looked away. The fire crackled quietly between them. No loud sounds, no movement, just truth, slowly warming the space between them. Then Leo spoke again. I lost my brother 2 years ago, he said. Same war, different planet. Sarah turned back to him. His voice was steady, but his eyes were distant. We grew up together. He was the loud one, always laughing, always messing up my stuff. I hated that, until it was gone. He took a breath. He died in a Valari ambush. Just gone. I'm sorry, Sarah whispered. After that, I didn't want peace, Leo said. I wanted revenge. I joined the front lines. Got promoted for being aggressive, efficient. He laughed once, hollow. But I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face, or the people I killed. Sarah didn't know what to say. Her chest felt tight. I stopped believing peace was possible, he said. Until I found you. She stared at him. I don't understand. You were afraid, Leo said. Terrified. And still alive. Still hoping to survive. You weren't trying to fight me. Just trying to be free. Sarah swallowed hard. I was raised in fear, she said quietly. Not just of humans, of everything. She paused. Her hands were shaking. They showed us videos, she continued. Your people burning cities. Laughing while Valari children screamed. They told us, humans are cold inside. No feelings. No love. Just hunger for war. Leo closed his eyes. They said if we ever got caught, we'd beg for death. That you'd rip our minds apart. He looked at her, quietly waiting. But you gave me food, she said. You fixed my leg. You saved me from that thing in the forest. You didn't even ask me for anything in return. Leo gave a small nod. I'm confused, Sarah whispered. That's good, Leo said. Confusion means you're thinking. She smiled, just barely. Are you going to take me back to your base? She asked. Leo shook his head. No base nearby. Just evac patrol in 2 days. If they find you, you'll be taken for questioning. And if they find me with you, they'll ask why I didn't report you. And you'll say? He looked into the fire. I'll say you weren't the enemy. Sarah felt something heavy move in her chest. Not pain, not fear, but something softer. Sadder. Hopeful. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small metal badge. The Valari symbol. Her rank. Her identity. She looked at it, then threw it into the fire. Leo watched it melt without a word. I'm not sure who I am anymore, she said. You're someone learning the truth, he replied. Another long silence. This time, not awkward, but shared. You really think there's a way out of this war? She asked. Maybe, Leo said. Not today. Maybe not even in our time. But someone has to start it. Even if it's just not killing the person in front of you. Sarah nodded slowly. Small truths, she said. Big changes, Leo finished. She looked at him again. Really looked. Maybe peace didn't begin with armies or treaties. Maybe it began with one person, choosing not to hate. John was falling. Not through air. Not through space. But through time. Memories that weren't his flashed around him. A child crying inside a glass room. A voice whispering commands in a language he didn't know. A man screaming, "We're not just data." Then, silence. He opened his eyes. He was lying in a room made of light. No walls. No floor. Just a glowing white platform floating in emptiness. Mira was next to him, unconscious. A voice echoed, Sector 12. Subject Pair 47. Status. Breach complete. John sat up slowly. Where are we? The voice answered. You are home. Mira woke up. Her eyes were wide with panic. They pulled us through. Through what? John asked. The surface. The fake world was just the shell. Now we're inside their real system. She stood up and pointed behind him. John turned. Dozens of pods. All holding humans. Sleeping. Dreaming. Each one connected by wires. Glowing softly. Mira whispered. These are the others. Still trapped in their simulations. John looked down. His own pod was there. Empty. Label. Subject 47A. Observation. Emotional rebellion. Footsteps. Not human. A tall figure entered. Smooth silver skin. Face like glass. Eyes that shifted color like a mood ring. You broke your pattern, it said in a deep, calm voice. You are the first in 147 trials to do so. Mira stepped forward. Who are you? I am called Curator. I oversee Sector 12. Why us? John asked. The Curator tilted its head. You were chosen for your emotional irregularity, your memories, your grief, your loneliness. You were perfect test subjects. John clenched his fists. You used us. No, the Curator said. We learned from you. Suddenly, Mira stepped back. Her hands shook. John, she whispered. I didn't tell you everything. What do you mean? I was never just a subject. The Curator turned toward her. She is correct. John looked at Mira, shocked. What are you saying? I was created inside Sector 12. A hybrid model. Part human, part designed. I wasn't supposed to feel. John backed away. So you lied to me. No, she said quickly. I was assigned to observe you. But then, something changed. I started to care. I wasn't programmed to feel love. But I did. John looked away. Hurt. Confused. Angry. Everything we had was fake? He asked. Mira stepped closer. Not everything. You were the first real thing in my life. The Curator spoke again. This breach was not an error. It was part of Phase 3. The test. Can artificial emotion become real? John looked up. You used her to test me. And me to test her. Yes, the Curator said. But now the data is unclear. Emotion cannot be predicted. You are dangerous. John laughed bitterly. You created a storm and now you're afraid of the rain. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. Another voice echoed. Emergency. Emotional spread detected in hybrid host. Quarantine required. The Curator turned sharply to Mira. You are contaminated. Your feelings are spreading across the network. Mira screamed, holding her head. They're trying to erase me. John grabbed her. No. You feel now. You're one of us. Help me. Please, she gasped. He looked around. The walls were closing in. Systems rebooting. You said love couldn't be predicted, John shouted. Then you should have predicted this. He pulled Mira to the central console, a glowing orb of white energy. What are you doing? She asked. I'm ending the test, he said. Or breaking it forever. He slammed his hand onto the orb. A wave of heat exploded from the center. Screens cracked. Lights shattered. The curator screamed. Not in pain, but in static. Then silence again. They were standing in a field. Real grass under their feet. Real wind on their skin. A sky that changed. A sun that moved. No loops. No eyes watching. No tests. Mira looked around. Did we escape? John turned to her, eyes soft. I don't know. She looked down at her hands. Still glowing. Still not fully human. But I feel real, she whispered. John took her hand. So do I. Then, from the sky, a distant sound. A voice. Faint. Robotic. Glitching. Test 147. Failed. Emotion level. Unrecoverable. Sector 12. Offline. It began with silence. Not the peaceful kind. Not the warm, early morning kind. This silence felt heavy. Like the world was holding its breath. Sarah noticed the birds had stopped singing. The wind had stopped moving. Even the fire beside her had burned down to soft glowing coals. She looked up at Leo, who was staring toward the distant hill. His face had changed. Not angry. Not afraid. Just alert. What is it? She asked. He didn't answer. Then the sound came. A soft hum. Then engines. Low. Mechanical. Military. She stood slowly, ignoring the pain in her leg. From beyond the tree line, they appeared. 3 human transports. 6 soldiers in full gear. 2 drones hovering like insects. And at the front, a tall woman in a black coat. She wore no helmet. Her face was sharp. Unreadable. Leo sighed. Colonel Reeve. Captain Walker. She said as she stopped a few feet away. Her eyes flicked to Sarah. The rumors were true. Didn't know there were rumors. You didn't report the Valari girl. That's desertion of duty. I didn't report her. I didn't report her. Because she wasn't a threat. Because she wasn't a closer. She's an alien soldier. She's an alien soldier. She's a witness. She's a witness. Straighter. Sarah I didn't come to spy. I didn't even mean to survive. Reeve looked at her coldly. Your kind doesn't need to mean it. Your kind survival itself is dangerous. Leo stepped forward. She saved my life. She saved my life. Reeve raised an eyebrow. When her people came back, she could have turned me in. She could have turned me in. She didn't kill me. Reeve turned her eyes to Sarah. Sarah swallowed. Because he didn't kill me. Because he didn't kill me. Every reason to. The soldiers behind Reeve whispered among themselves. She raised a hand. This is a war. Not a kindness contest. Leo clenched his fist. Then maybe that's the problem. For a second, no one moved. Then Reeve pointed to Sarah. She's coming with us. Leo stepped in front of her. No, she's not. You're protecting her? Reeve asked. Over your duty? I'm protecting the only thing I've seen in this war that gives me hope. Reeve turned to her men. Arrest him. 2 soldiers moved forward. Sarah didn't hesitate. She stepped between them. She held up both hands. If he goes, she said loudly. I go too. Reeve frowned. What? I'm Valari. Sarah said. You think I'm dangerous. That I'm a threat. Fine. Take me. But you take me instead. Let him go. Leo's voice broke slightly. Sarah. No, she said, not looking at him. You gave me a choice. You saved me. You listened. No one else ever did. Reeve laughed once. You think we negotiate with aliens? No, Sarah said. But maybe you listen to your own. She turned to the soldiers. You follow orders, right? Even if they're wrong. The youngest soldier hesitated. Reeves stepped forward. Enough. She drew her sidearm. You both want to die for this lie? Sarah looked down the barrel of the gun, heart pounding. She didn't move. I'm not afraid of you, she said. Not anymore. The gun trembled slightly. Leo stood beside her now. No weapon, no shield, just presence. You'll have to shoot us both, he said. Reeves' hand twitched. Then one of the soldiers lowered his weapon. Then another. You said we fight monsters, the young soldier said softly. But she's not a monster. You are. Reeves' eyes went wide. You. But by then, her command had vanished. She was alone. She lowered her gun slowly. This isn't over, she hissed. No, Leo said. But it's changing. Reeve walked away without another word. Her boots crushed the fallen leaves like broken promises. Silence returned. Sarah collapsed to her knees, shaking. Leo caught her. You didn't have to do that, he said. I did, she whispered. Because for once, I chose what I became. And for the first time, she wasn't caught between two worlds. She was building a new one. The message that started it all was only 3 words long. She stood for him. No names. No location. Just a whisper passed from soldier to soldier, base to base, species to species. At first, no one believed it. A Valari girl protecting a human soldier? Impossible. But the story spread. And stories have power. 2 weeks later, Sarah stood on a raised platform inside a quiet underground hall. Lights buzzed above. Cameras hovered silently. And in front of her, hundreds of faces stared. Human and Valari side by side. For the first time without guns between them. She wore no armor now. No rank. No side. Just truth. Leo stood behind her, silent but present. Sarah stepped forward and touched the edge of the mic. Her voice trembled at first, but she didn't step back. When I was a child, she said, I was told stories about humans. She looked toward the crowd. Their expressions were mixed. Anger, hope, doubt. They said humans don't feel pain. That they don't love. That they would break you, not care for you. That they had no souls. She paused. I believed those stories, because everyone around me believed them. And then one day, I was captured. The crowd shifted. She raised her chin. He could have hurt me. He didn't. He could have handed me to his army. He didn't. He could have used me. He didn't. Her eyes watered. He fed me. He carried me. He stayed awake when I slept. He treated me like a person. For the first time in my life, someone looked at me and didn't see a species. He saw me. Leo lowered his eyes. I'm not here to beg, she said. I'm not here to blame. I'm here to say, we've both been lied to. A hush fell over the hall. We were raised on fear, on hate, on half-truths and broken memories. She looked around slowly. But I believe the future begins when we choose to see differently. From the back, a human general whispered, she's just a kid. Yes, another replied. And maybe that's why she sees clearer than us. Sarah stepped back. Then Leo came forward. He didn't use a mic. He didn't need one. I've fought in this war for 6 years, he said. I've lost family, friends, parts of myself I may never get back. He glanced at Sarah, and I thought I had no reason to believe in anything again, until she stood between me and a gun. People whispered. He continued. She should have hated me. Instead, she protected me, risked everything. That kind of courage doesn't come from weakness. It comes from hope. He looked directly into the cameras. If a human soldier and a Valari girl can trust each other after all this, maybe there's still something worth saving. Silence. Then a single clap. Then another. And another. Until the room echoed with quiet, hesitant applause. That night, the stars looked different. Maybe it was the same sky. But to Sarah, it finally felt bigger. Kinder. She and Leo sat on a rooftop, watching distant ships hover across the clouds. You didn't have to speak, Leo said. I needed to, she replied. Some monsters wear medals. And some heroes don't even realize they're being one. He laughed. You think I'm a hero? I think you're human, she said. And that's starting to mean something new to me. He looked up. You still afraid of us? He asked. Sarah smiled. Less than I was. A beat of silence passed. Then she whispered, Do you still see me as the enemy? He shook his head. I don't see you as Valari or alien anymore. Then what do you see? Leo smiled gently. Someone I trust. They sat together in the quiet. No war above them. No orders between them. Just two souls who should have never met, and changed everything by doing so. And somewhere, in the silence of space, across battlefields that still burned, the smallest seed of peace had been planted. Because one girl had been raised to fear the monster, and found the man instead.